Hey, so today we're going to be looking at a fantastic house, US based in California by a self-taught perfumer Manuel Cross, who happens to be a chef by trade. He has a love for mature classic fragrances. So when I heard about his line, I was really excited to try it. If you've been following my channel, you know that I love mature fragrances. That's because they are kind of a window into my childhood. I'm all grown up now and I live in a different country, so I don't get to see my parents that often. So every time I find vintage, mature, classic fragrances that remind me of my childhood, that warm feeling, memories there, it holds a really special place in my heart. So when I heard about his line being a nod to classical fragrances, I was really excited. On top of that, being a chef, if you think about it, that has some transferable skills when you think about it in terms of perfumery. Being a chef, you're in tune with flavors. You learn how to carefully dose spices in a way that achieves a desired result that you look in the final product. So of course I was really interested in, and then you can see that in his work here. They're not heavy, they're not too they don't come off complex, but you can see finer nuances in his fragrances, and the fragrance that we're going to be talking about today has that throughout the wearing of the fragrance. Now before I jump into the review, I want to mention that Manuel Cross does explicitly state on his Etsy shop that is non-IFRA compliant. To be able to create those classic fragrances, he utilizes some ingredients that are heavily restricted or prohibited by IFRA. So for example, the fragrance that we're going to be talking about today, Chypre Siam, is utilizing some musk ketone, which you can use as long as it doesn't exceed 0.1% content on musk xylene. He also lists musk xylol, which is prohibited. And of course, it does use oak moss here, which is restricted to lower content. Now, today we're looking at Chypre Siam, which is of course a Chypre. I know most of my viewers are really knowledgeable, but just as an overview, a Chypre is in the family that centers around warm and dry, woody, and then mossy accords that are basically like the basic structure is made of citruses, bergamot, oak moss, patchouli, and labdanum as a base structure, and then you can have profile modifiers by making it a fruity Chypre, a floral Chypre, a woody Chypre, a green Chypre, or a leather Chypre. The variations are endless here in terms of modifying that base structure. Here though, in Chypre Siam, you're going to see, if you've tried it, it does have like hints of these different subcategories or modified Chypre basic structure here throughout the wearing the fragrance, and it's just beautiful. The nuances are really nice. It's not a heavy fragrance, but you can get the fine nuances, and I think is from his transferable skills that he got from being a chef and then being able to add those subtle nuances in foods. On to presentation, I love the lean take on presentation here. I'm sure it plays well into the pricing, which is great by the way, but I love the simple retro-like feel to it. So this is a standard white box, and then you have a sticker up front, name of the fragrance Chypre Siam, and then name of the house Rogue. This is 100 ml. At the back you have more information on the ingredients there, and then when you open this, nice touch here, he has oak moss in it, and it smells great too. Look at the color, the dark green color of the juice there. Just stunning. Overall, beautiful presentation. I think he's done a good job at having a minimalistic packaging, great pricing there, and that touch there I think is just great. Just great. On to pricing, great pricing here for the quality that he's delivering here. 100 ml is $150, 60 ml is $110, and 30 ml is $75. And you have the option to actually get 8 2 ml samples for like $33.95. They come in dabbers, but they work. At least you can transfer them, because 2 ml is actually a lot. You can transfer them in the spray vial there and just use it that way. But I think the pricing is fantastic. Now on to the exciting part. Like I've said before, this one is gonna give you different scent or Chypre profiles as you wear them. At least on my skin, I was able to witness like 3 distinct Chypre scent profiles or modifiers of that main genre here. So the first stage for me on my skin was a green Chypre, and then the second stage was more of a floral, slightly sweet resinous Chypre, and then the final stages what I got was a woody Chypre with hints hints of that sweetness, resinous sweetness, but also hints of something that was a little bit leathery. Now, the first stage, I got green Chypre. Out of the set of notes that I get in the opening is this beautiful, refreshing, sparkling, radiant lime note. And it's not any type of lime note. So what it utilizes here is actually kaffir lime, which is different from the type of lime that I'm used to that has like a smoother skin, outer skin in terms of appearance. Kaffir lime here has more of a bumpy skin. In terms of scent profile, when I look at this note here, is actually the kaffir lime leaves. What I get out of this note in isolation is pretty much I get the lime, but it's soft, radiant, and then sparkling. Along with the lime note, I also get something that's slightly sweet, slightly lemony, and has like a leafy aspect to it, but it's soft, it's not piercing or too sharp. And then the opening of Chypre Siam does deliver that. It just gives you that radiant, uplifting, sparkling lime note with the undertone of sweet lemon attached to it. And it is paired quickly with some light herbs. It's not going to be overly aromatic. And then on top of that, or enveloping that, you're gonna get that beautiful mossy core, but you're also gonna get something that is warm and sensual that is coming from a set of musks and then the civet note that he uses in this composition. I also get, and then hinting at the second stage, a set of floral cores that are coming from the jasmine, and then back in the jasmine I get a little bit of ylang that is adding just a little bit of depth feel there. With the jasmine is not that prominent, but it adds that dimension to the jasmine note. So transitioning to the second stage, that's where the floral notes show up a little bit more. The bright lime effect or citrus effect that you get from this first stage is going to tone down, and I get more of a floral Chypre here. I also get a sweetness that is coming from a resin. I get something that is slightly vanillic, slightly resinous, and then slightly sweet in the background, and then adding a little bit of depth to the jasmine here. So the second stage is around floral cores or floral Chypre that are made of jasmine, a little bit of backing ylang there, and a little bit of resinous sweetness, vanillic tone in the background against that, again, basic structure of Chypre that is the mossy, woody cores, and then the warm skin tone coming from the civet and then the musk. Now into the final stages, I'm talking about 8 hours down the line. Yes, this one has great longevity. It's not a heavy or loud fragrance, but it's going to hang around you for the longest time. So this one, the final stages phase towards a woody Chypre, and then you're gonna get still hints of that resinous sweetness, but mostly it's gonna be a woody. I think a little bit of cedar there against the basic structure of the Chypre core, which is mossy. You also get the skin warm tone that I mentioned before, and then along with the woody Chypre scent profile, I also get the addition of what I recognize being a partial iris like scent profile, and I think it's coming from the inones that he has listed in the note breakdown. So here I get something that is slightly powdery, woody, has partial facets of iris and a little bit of facets of violet as well. It has this radiant feel to the woody tones in the final stages. In the final woody Chypre stages here, I get a lot of coumarin, which is generally associated with tonka bean, but I don't get any overload of sweet tonka. Here is more targeted than that. I get a lot of coumarin that is adding that warm, sweet, slightly woody, hay-like tone to the fragrance, helping with the woody Chypre structure here. So overall, transitioning from the green Chypre to the floral Chypre to the woody Chypre with the undertone of warm skin coming from the civet and the musk, and then that slightly resinous touch there that is added by benzoin, I believe, is just wonderful. Like I said, not overly loud. It is a soft fragrance, but the transitions are so beautiful here. So it goes without saying that this one has great longevity. Like I said, 8+ hours. It's not going to be a projection beast. It's going to be something that hangs around you in a soft cloud there, but you're definitely going to smell it. For me, 3 to 4 sprays and I'm set for the whole day there. Now with all this enthusiasm though, who may enjoy this one, you have to keep in mind that I love classic mature fragrances. Special place in my heart here. I'm talking about going after fragrances like Jean Desprez, Bala Versailles, Versailles pour Homme, Jardinelle, Scheherazade, classics from Givenchy, Monsieur Givenchy, Gentleman Givenchy, Versace, from the house of Rocha, Monsieur Rocha, Moustache. Just outstanding classic fragrances that have a special place in my heart here, and then just take me to my childhood and remind me of family and stuff like that. That's why I love them. So if you do, please give a try. Explore this house, sample it. The pricing is not that bad, especially for the samples. 8 samples, at least currently on the website, for $33.95 is just great. If it continues to produce classic fragrances like that, I think my hunt, or the time that I spend on eBay hunting for vintage fragrances, is going to be reduced here because of the risk of getting something from eBay that has been tampered with, top note have gone off, or the fragrance itself has turned. All those risks, why would I go through those lengths if I can actually get a freshly made fragrance that gives you that classical feel where I can still enjoy the top notes and all that. So definitely a great house to explore if you love mature fragrances. Obviously, if you don't, I would say stay away. Still maybe sample to get what people talk about when they're talking about vintage or classic fragrances, for example. So if you've tried anything from the House of Rogue, let me know. Again, thank you for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and take care. Bye.